Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're with us here today. I've got two powerhouse women who know their stuff. That is for sure. Dr. Sheri Keffer and Dr. Alice Benton joining me today. Hi, guys.
Folks. Hi. It's so good to be here. To be honest, Steve, I was complaining a little bit when I got in today because
yes,
the chair I'm sitting in, literally, it was like my chin was hitting the table. So that's out. Now I can just be here.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you figured that out because that's really, really important. And I know everybody listening is concerned about the chair that you sit in.
Well, they are now. I know. I mean, Alice is like, we're going on live right now. We're going on live.
Reminds me of a time when Johnny Erickson was speaking at Women of Faith. I've told this story before. And we ended up at an arena that didn't have all of the seats on the floor that they had told us about. So all the tickets had to be rearranged. All the seats had to be changed. And some people that were supposed to be on the floor ended up, of course, up near the ceiling of this particular arena. And they were not happy. They were complaining and griping. And the first speaker was Johnny Erickson Tada, who is quadriplegic, and she rolls her wheelchair up on the ramp and out. And the first thing she says is, I understand some of you are not pleased with the chair you have to sit in.
Wow.
And and her talk went on to talk about how we can make absolutely the best of whatever chair or whatever situation we're in. She really is an amazing human being, and just she's an example of God takes a tragedy and then the good stuff happens when we surrender to Him. And it reminds me of what we had a caller talking about, not wanting to be at every man's battle, and he was going to take his life before he went.
Yes.
And then now he's so happy that he went. And a lot of guys, they leave there and they start groups. They're so motivated to help other people after they've experienced a little bit of relief themselves. I want to remind everybody that we have kits and help. We have people assigned to help you start groups. And there's a life recovery group kit that you can start. And you can use that to start an Every Man's Battle group. It's all at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or there's a website, liferecoverygroups.com. But if you are just looking for something different, better, in whatever recovery that you're doing, you ought to call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Ask for Terry, and she'll give you all the information that you need.
I wanted to say, Steve, you make me think about if we had a way of tracing, like a piece of string that everybody that came through New Life would tie around their finger and then would go out into the world and make a difference, and then they would pass that piece of string to the next person. There would be this amazing spiritual net of change. If we could track that, it would be phenomenal. Because as you were talking, I was thinking about somebody that went through, Every Man's Battle, and the wife got a lot of healing, and she's now starting a small group in another state. And like, you may not know about that, Steve, right?
No.
Or you may not know about that,
I
Alice.
know some of those men too who have begun groups and are mentoring other men.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it just starts with coming and filling in a seat, right? At Every Man's Battle or at the Marriage Intensive, or, we've got so many things here, but it's changing who you are in the seat that you're in.
That's right. 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000. That's our phone number. We'll go to the calls right after this. I hope and pray that whatever you've got going this summer, it includes a time with you, family, not just doing stuff, but really connecting in a meaningful way.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., July 23rd to the 25th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Sheri Keffer and Dr. Alice Benton. New Life. You know, you call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and so many people have done that. And then their new life actually began with that phone call. And really, it can be the one thing that you need to do for everything to be different. Now, you could call our program right now at 1-800-229-3000, and everything might be different, worse, or the same. You never know, but it's worth a try. Zanae from Pomona, California, listens on KKLA, and we're glad that she does. And you are on with Steve Arterburn and Dr. Alice Benton, Dr. Sheri Keffer. How are you today? What's going on?
Good morning to all of you. God bless you. I'll do the best I can to condense my question because I love life. I want to keep living, but it's been difficult since I have grief inside me that started with my mom and dad back to back, 8 months apart, and then 4 other dear people, and recently a total of like 6 people within a time span, meaning all this grief is inside me. I have lost base with all those people I've known. It's a metaphor. I have not lost them, but I can't get back to be healed. I am my own crusader now, and I the right thing to do would be just take my life, and I can't. I'm a believer. I can't do that. Yeah. I'm a believer, and life is beautiful, and so much is invested in this life that I'm in, and I'm doing the best I can to write.
Well, let me ask you this.
And publish.
Let me ask you this. You lost some really, really significant people, very important people. There's no question about that. But were they your whole life? Is that why this is so tough, that now you don't have other relationships that you could build and grow to that same level?
No. That's not it. I'm practical. I have invested time in schooling and friends, and I'm a community builder. When this hit, when I lost my mom and dad 8 months apart, I hope I don't sound like a baby. I'm not. I don't
it's
cry.
Okay.
I'm not a
it's
baby.
horrible.
No,
it's tough for anybody.
That requires no justification how important or unimportant it is to anybody. I am from a different culture, and I came to the States to improve life, not to fall apart like this and disappear into the cloud. So, for your question, I have built friendships over the years, but when this hit, I don't know how to get back. I don't know where my friends are. I don't know where colleagues are. I like academia. I like knowledge, and I have that caliber of people that I knew in my life. But
well, let me so let me turn this over to Sheri and Alice to try to give you some hope and some direction, because you're a wonderful human being, and we need you here. So Sheri, you want to get us started?
Yeah. Can I ask
Thank you so much.
How do you pronounce your name?
Good morning, good afternoon, good morning, Dr. Sheri.
Yeah.
Zene.
It's beautiful. Zene. So
Yes, thank you so much.
yeah. So let me tell you.
I respect you guys.
Well,
I respect and support you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
I
you.
like academia. I like profession. We need to have more of professionals in this lifetime, and there are many that I don't know shouldn't even qualify to live on the planet.
Yeah, let me share with you, Zene, where I would love to take you. Do you know the one thing that I would want you to do? I would want
What was
you.
that?
Yeah, and I'm being just as honest as the day is long. I would want you, and I would invite you into being a crybaby.
To who? There is nobody to cry to.
Well,
I have to be strong.
But that's part of the problem with grief. Grief is the thing that all of us have the hardest time moving through, because grief does require that you unravel. It requires that you weep, that you cry. And the thing that breaks my heart for you, my dear, I know you're very strong. I hear that. And part of how God uses us to help each other heal is, do you know where it talks about in Ecclesiastics, there's a time to weep, right? There's a time to mourn. And there's a time to be happy.
I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware of all of those, but I'm today in practicality, Dr. Sheri.
I know.
I am one person, unmarried, no child, no husband, nothing like that.
And I'm a
true servant.
Yeah, and you know that practicality is actually a shield. It's a shield. It's a managing shield. It's defending. It works really hard to protect you from unraveling. And part of how you're going to heal from this deep, deep ache of losing 6 people that you love is by being with someone that you can let go of that defensive manager, right? That protective part of you.
Dr. Sheri, thanks for saying that. But there is nobody. There is nobody. I'm telling you in the name of God. I knew so many, but there is nobody. None.
Zene, we hear that, and Sheri's going to help answer that question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to interject that.
Yeah. So even that nobody, there's nobody, and I hold on to me here, girl. There's nobody is a defensive part. That is basically believing that there's not a soul in the world that would witness your tear. And I know right now online, there are grief groups that can be done virtually. I'm not trying to fix you.
I have done that. I have.
And have you cried? Or have you observed? The big difference, the thing that I do in my office, and then I'll turn it to Alice here. When I'm working with somebody who is delightful like you and has this defensive part, I usually pull out a tool of mine called EMDR. It's eye movement desensitization reprocessing. Big name, but basically you've experienced trauma in these 6 losses. And the reason I pull out this tool is I need to kind of lovingly invite that more vulnerable part of you to come into the room so that you could cry with me, so that I could be a witness of your pain.
I have done, Dr. Sheri, what I'm saying is I have done all of the preliminary stages. I have gone to grief group. I have read. I love knowledge, knowing to solve this puzzle.
But this is not a knowledge solution. This is a crying solution.
No.
Alice, you want to?
Zene, you are obviously an intelligent woman, and you have worked so hard to gain this stability in life. That's why I don't want to take my life. I am there now, day in, day out. Sister, I want you to sit back and receive for a little bit. Can you do that? Can you do that?
I do appreciate if you could get to where I am, Dr. Sheri, instead of the theoretical route, beautiful, you want to take me to. I have exhausted all that. When I'm a man and a woman in my life, I didn't depend on anything. I just wanted to.
Zanae, it's so understandable that you have tried these things and it hasn't worked. And you're probably feeling a little hopeless, maybe a lot hopeless, and at the end of your rope.
Very much.
Yes.
Very much.
And you are having thoughts of taking your life. And I hear that you won't, but you're having those thoughts.
Very much.
So.
Yeah, because I know my God. I know my God. I can't do that.
So this is the time to dip back in and to keep searching for a person who will be able to work towards understanding you. None of us can fully understand you in your pain. And I hear an anger in your voice, kind of an agitation about that. And you're right. I don't understand what you've been through. Nobody does. Nobody does. But sister, we have a whole network of fabulous counselors who want to try again with you. What you've done so far has been good and right. It just hasn't been sufficient. Let us help you try again.
You know, I really sense a commitment not to take your life, but also kind of a commitment that you're going to stay in this life and it's hopeless in this life, that there is no answer. There is no way that it's going to get better. So I see that commitment because of your relationship with the Lord stay, but it's really kind of a defiant kind of stay. And I think you've called and we haven't really been able to pierce through that. But if you sit back and listen to what we've tried to say to you, it's simply this. You're a really bright and intelligent, fascinating woman. Secondly, anybody that has gone through the kind of loss that you've gone through would have a lot of grief. It would be really tough, especially being in a land that, like this, tough. During COVID times, even tougher.
Yeah.
And that you could experience tremendous help by, once again, even if you've done it before, getting in the presence of somebody that could help you grieve, to truly get to the crybaby stage, I think is what Sheri was saying. And then when you're finally dealing with all of that anger that we sense, the sadness that is there, the despair, then once we feel and process that, then we can get out of it. We can move back up out of the valley. And that's what I would want for you. Sheri, were you going to add something there?
I was just going to say, Precious Zinni, it's not uncommon, especially if you have complicated bereavement, right? You've grown up and there's been loss, or the loss of having to leave your country, loss of being in another culture, loss of people you love. It's like if you make me cry, if I cry, I'm not going to stop crying. And I might never, ever get over that huge feeling of sadness. But the opposite is true. It's so weird. When we do cry, we offload that pain. We get lighter. People leave my office. They've bawled, they cried, but they come back and they're like, boy, I had a good couple days after that good cry. And I go, I know. That's how it works. But she's in my backyard. And if you are listening right now, girl, call me. I'll walk you through this. You're not too far. You're a stone throw away from me. Let me help you walk you through this. You're not alone. I'd love to be there for you, and I'd love to help you take that next step. I'd love to be a witness to your tears. And I don't know about you, Alice, but sometimes I cry with my clients because it's sad what they're experiencing.
So when we are stuck in alone, not a lot of hope. When we're willing to step out of alone and into take a risk and open ourselves up with another person, especially a professional who specializes in complicated grief, it can be the beginning of that new life that we love to see happen here. Now, I'm going to send you a copy of our grief workbook along with the Life Recovery Bible. And those two things together can really, it's a step-by-step process of going through the grief process. And then I'll send you the Emotional Freedom Workbook. I'm really, really sorry, but I'm so glad that you called, and I hope you and Sheri can get together and she can lead you through this. 1-800-229-3000 is the number that a lot of people have called. We've given some help. We'd like to do it for you. Maybe you've been thinking, oh, should I not? Just do it. And it's 1-800-229-3000. We're going to do 2 shows today, so we'll do another hour after this one. And we're glad that you're with us here today. I'll mention that our 100 Days to Freedom from Fear and Anxiety is our gift to anyone who supports us for any amount. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. A lot of people are in, you could literally say, in bondage from past trauma that has created an emotional web that they don't understand, and it prevents them from being free. A person that loses their temper regularly is not emotionally free. Someone who has anxiety just to get in the car and leave the house is not emotionally free. And walking around with the shame from a childhood or even a bad relationship as an adult, that is not emotional freedom, and we can help you get there.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, August 14th. Steve Arterburn and Chris Williams will present information on the power of our emotions, procrastination, guilt and shame, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the New Life member thank you gift of the New Life Journal, 100 Days of Peace, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, a Restoration Bible, and a New Life grocery tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits, like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Sheri Keffer, Dr. Alice Benton. Your phone calls, and really glad that you're with us here. I'm going to go to Mike right now. He's calling from Dallas, Texas. Mike, how are you today, and how could we help?
Yes, I'm so glad that I'm calling today. I'm having a really big problem with my wife. So
okay.
She worked for a couple of places, but unfortunately after a year they will lay her off, and now she's been at home for 2 years, especially with COVID, and and honestly she got into really depressed, and she don't want to work, and she always on the couch, and she always cry, and I just just today, this morning, she woke up just crying, and I was like, "Why don't you just literally find you a job, find you something
Mike,
to work
I'm going to interrupt
on."
you. Mike, I'm going to interrupt you. Could you name some of those things that are bringing up her deep sorrow that she can't get over right now? What has happened to your wife?
What happened to her? She was with her ex-husband for 17 years, and he's a narcissist. and he's still taking her over to the court, and she can't get over it, and she's still in depression and pain.
So, Mike, I know that you love her deeply, and it distresses you so much to see her pain. When you bring work up so quickly that work is the solution, and work is probably part of the solution, but it's not the first solution. So when you bring up, let's get you a job, we can get this taken care of, we can get this fixed, it's bypassing the need of her heart to be heard and to grieve. And I'm sure that you listen to her. I'm sure that you do. But you have to enter in to some of that grief with her. And you might need a professional to help you do this. But Mylan and Kay's Comfort Circle is miraculous at teaching us how to be better heart-level listeners to our spouses. And your wife probably needs medication help and a psychiatrist and a therapist. Maybe she's
what have
some
you
of that.
done? What have you done to find help for her, or what has she sought out? Anything?
Yes. So what I did, I told her to go to a therapist, a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been through counselor, for by now for like 5 months, and she go every week.
No help. You're not
time.
seeing any progress from that then.
I saw a progress for a little bit, and then it just all of a sudden she went all the way down. I saw a lot of better, when she woke up, she like a little bit, happy, and to me, I'm really positive person. I always look at the whole side of the cup. I'm always trying to get her to look at the good things and be happy. And always writing her notes in the morning about happiness, about stuff like that.
Yes, wonderful. Now, have you asked for you and your wife to have a session with the counselor where maybe you could talk with her about how things were going well, and then it seems like there's been a setback there, or asking your wife if it'd be okay to talk to the counselor about what you could do to facilitate things getting better? If it was my wife, I'd really want to know what is going on and why the setback, whatever, because she was getting better. That's a wonderful thing. Any insight here, Sheri, on what might help?
Yeah. Hey, Mike.
Right. So
I'm wondering if there's a part of you that isn't frightened right now. Frightened for her. Frightened for the level of depression.
Yes. So I'm always. I'm always with her, and I'm always trying to, throughout the years that she told me she used to be forced doing things.
Right. She's
controlled
been exactly. She's been really hurt, really abused. And this is what I'm concerned about. I think that possibly your fear, the fear that you have for how deeply she's in the deep hole right now, is causing you to want to fix it, to want her to be happy, to want her to have a job, right? It's like this, and it's not uncommon, Mike. There's a lot of us that do that. When we get really scared, we go into fix-it mode. But you know what she needs? She's got a therapist. The first thing that I would be having you do, and I'm saying this because of a situation I had recently where I felt like I dropped the ball, I fumbled. And I didn't even realize how depressed someone was feeling that was seeing me. And now we're chasing it, right? I got her in to see a psychiatrist, but I wish I would have done that 2 months ago because the work took her into a deeper place of sad. And so her brain needed that serotonin. It needed some help. And so we're on a different track now. But sometimes a therapist might not even see how bad she is, right?
Yeah.
So if I were you, I would meet with her.
Hold on, we'll take a break.
most of my life I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. And Sheri, I just want you to take a minute here and provide final close here, because I hear a guy calling about his wife. He's concerned, and I think it can make all the difference in the world.
Totally. And, you know, just to self-reveal a little bit, I had a time in my life where I was clinically depressed. And I remember reading Psalms 25:1, which says, "Unto you, O Lord, do I bring my life." And basically, that's all I could do, was just open my eyes in the morning. I mean, I didn't shower, I didn't wash my hair, and I'm feeling for Mike's wife because it's real. And I had to have some intervention, with medication, psychotropic medication. I couldn't make it. My brain was depleted. And so I say that because it's real. And sometimes as therapists, we don't see what's happening at home. And if that was happening at home, right, the next thing would be I would need to triage to make sure that she's seeing a good psychiatrist who's giving her brain what it needs so she can function and even do the therapy, right? You don't have to suffer while you're going through it. So anyway, that's kind of where my passion is coming from. You can't fix it by a job. You can't fix it by saying you need to be happy. You have to feed your brain, and then continue to do the work.
Right. Well, I'm going to send Healing is a Choice. I hope that could help him and her have some conversations that would be very, very healing. And I'm really glad that he called. I want to go to Charles now from Palm Springs and listening on the podcast there. Well, I can't really go to Charles just yet, so I'm going to go to Donna, who's calling from Waverly, Ohio, I believe it is. Hi, Donna. How are you? And I'll go to Charles after Donna. Hi there.
Oh, hi there. Yes, I was calling to talk about how I can help my daughter and her husband. They have been married approximately 4.5 years. They're both committed Christians. When they started getting married, she graduated from Bowling Green University, so she had her degree, and but she is working full time. But her husband has decided that, it was all about he couldn't wait to find a full-time job so they could so they could look for a house and all this. And the bad part was they started off living at his parents' house.
So could we say that what's happened is she has married someone who isn't the kind of responsible man that goes out, gets a job, keeps a job, builds a career. Would that be correct?
Yes.
And that must be very disappointing to you, must be disappointing to you and very devastating to her. What's the question that you have in that situation?
Well, just how can I help them? And the fact that they're both miserable because she's devastated and he's just like, well, this is what God's telling me to do. He's just, COVID hit, and it just seemed to be all of a sudden COVID hit, and suddenly he just feels like he's content continuing to play games all night.
I hear you. I understand that whole. Now, let me ask you this. Are you married? Is your husband alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me about his relationship with his son-in-law.
My husband's or his dad?
Your husband's relationship with his son-in-law.
He's very disappointed.
Mm-hmm. So here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm hearing because you might have said, oh, he has pursued this young man and just is resisted at every point and can't make any progress. But you were shocked that I would even ask about the relationship, and he's disappointed. And so I think we have an area that could improve and might change, and that is this. For him to decide that the son-in-law is going to be someone to connect with, to encourage, strengthen, challenge, be a role model for, and get engaged. And any father-in-law can get engaged with the son-in-law that's active and out there and conquering the giants and all that. Very tough for the father-in-law to step in and say, man, I don't even like to be around this guy, but I'm going to go, I'm going to do, I'm going to be with, talk to him over breakfast or lunch or dinner. It's going to be my number one priority. That's how this could be helped. In the meantime, you could help your daughter to try to see in him anything positive, anything at all. And we've said this quote many times, that acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. Well, she doesn't want to accept that he's never going to work or be responsible, but what she needs to accept is this is the marriage I have. Now, what am I going to do to make it better? And I'll tell you, I don't know of any guy that has that profile that gets better by being made to feel weaker, smaller, less powerful. With that, I'll turn it over to Alice and see what she has to say about this, but I really believe that father-in-law, your husband, has a tremendous, tremendous opportunity here to help the situation. Alice?
Donna, if I asked your daughter, what do you want from your mother about what you're going through, and what do you not want from her, do you know what she would answer?
What would she answer if what she would want from me and what she would not want from me?
It's very interesting that you're just hesitating about it, which makes me wonder how recently you've asked her that again to get an update on what she wants and does not want from you.
Well, I guess I really haven't asked her that. I've listened to her. I encouraged her to pray.
I want you to ask her and to find out. I want you to ask her and find out, because you have fantastic intentions and you're right about your concerns, but you have to find out if she wants your help or if she doesn't want your help. and then decide what to do from there. You may or may not be able to do what she asks of you, but asking is important. And I want to briefly comment on the video gaming. It is an addiction or a problematic behavior that I've looked into quite a bit. And on the outside, I think it can disgust a lot of us. What is this man doing playing video games all night? It's often a way to distract and to soothe from emotional misery on the inside. Now, that doesn't justify the use, but it is probably a cover-up for how disappointed he is in himself. And if your daughter is highly critical of what he's doing, rather than seeking out what his fear is and what his disappointment in himself is, she might be missing the mark. I hope you'll have her listen to this call.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take us a whole different direction, Donna, because you've said a few things that are worrisome to me. One, he's entitled. Two, he's spiritualizing his entitlement. He's grown up in a home with a mommy and daddy that have taken care of him, and he believes that I'm not capable of taking care of myself. But he has to justify it with entitlement. I'm not okay with what's happening to your daughter. I'm actually heartbroken. And I think we can really spiritualize. I appreciate you saying let's pray about it, but I think your daughter feels trapped and scared. And there is a part of me, I don't know why I'm feeling this with you guys, but I feel like I want to be a disruptor. I want to disrupt what's happening because it's not just in your daughter's house, it's in other houses. But she didn't see him be capable and stand on his own, and she married him hoping, right, that he would be capable. But he's going back to his old patterns. So if I were working with you guys, I might even suggest a temporary separation. I might even suggest that whatever lease they're in right now, they cancel that. That she comes home and lives with you over a 6-month period of time. And he figures out where he has to live, which is probably going to be mommy and daddy's house. Now, guess what's going to happen? He's going to be faced with, oh no, do I really want to be married? Do I want to stay with mom and dad? Do I want to get a job? Do you know there's lots of jobs out there? I can't walk through a mall right now without there being help, we want help. His entitlement and his spiritualizing entitlement is harming your daughter. And that's why you're so frustrated. So that would be my 2 bits on it.
I bet
Disruption.
Disruption.
I bet you feel vindicated right now by how Sheri is talking, that verve in her and that righteous anger.
Yeah.
Ooh,
it's
yes.
not okay. It's not okay, and it's not okay that it's okay with God. I mean, for him to say that, I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about?
Well, just imagine the combination of intervention by her husband and then disruption by the daughter and the mother moving it to the next level. Amazing. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. I don't know of anybody that wouldn't benefit from emotional freedom. We're all bound or stuck or struggling in some area. What are we going to do there, Chris?
Just really help people get clarity around the places where they're stuck in their life. They sort of circle the same mountain of disappointment over and over and over again. You're going to be able to see that mountain clearly and get to a new place of what we call emotional freedom, which is simply I can feel in the world, build a relationship to it, and know what to do with my experiences.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Workshop is Saturday, August 14th. Steve Arterburn and Chris Williams will present information on trauma, depression, codependency, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the New Life member thank you gift of the New Life Journal, 100 Days of Peace, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, a Restoration Bible, and a New Life grocery tote to hold it all. Plus, Plus, there are ongoing benefits, like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Going to do another program after this, and you can join us 1-800-229-3000 for that. But hold on, we'll try to get to your call either after we talk with the one and only Larry Sonnenberg, or we'll do it in the next program. Hi, Larry. Welcome.
Hey, Steve. Thank you.
Yes.
We have a marriage workshop coming up next week.
I plan to be there.
Yes, sir. I'm glad. And I want to read a testimony, and I want you married folks to be thinking, if you have any uneasiness in your marriage, if you have any desire for it to be different, better, maybe it's crisis, maybe it's just something that's just not right, I just want you to think about this workshop. And here's one reason why. This came from the wife, and her husband's name is Mike. It says, thank you. Mike and I have gone through a lot in our marriage. We fell in love like crazy 25 years ago, and through jobs, children, health issues, addictions, etc., we found this conference, and for the first time ever, we started talking with each other. It's so scary to really see the brokenness in me and in Mike, and how fragile we are, and to also see how reckless we have been to each other. I'm forever changed. I will never be able to see my husband the same. I have new eyes, ears, and heart for God and for our marriage. Why else would you want to go somewhere? I mean, there's nothing like it, folks.
There really isn't.
It's between the teaching and the breakout groups. God's Spirit does such amazing work. It gives me the chills sometimes. You just got to come to this workshop. And if you are thinking of donating to a ministry, if you'd like to help somebody, we help. God does a work, and we're one of his tools in his toolbox. And he is working through us at New Life in amazing ways right now. And so please give.
I want to ask people to support, fill up our scholarship fund, support the ministry that reaches people. But here's the analogy. A lot of people, you're in a marriage, and you think the road is bumpy, and you think your partner's a horrible driver on the bumpy road. And then you come to the marriage weekend, and you discover that that you don't even have tires. You're running on the rims, and you didn't even know that. Yeah. And then you didn't know that your little 4-cylinder car only is working on 2 cylinders. And you also didn't know that the brakes need fixed. And then when you see that, you go, no wonder I thought that he or she was such a big problem, because I didn't know all of the other things. You just don't know them. But by the time you, probably about halfway through, you start to see these things that were invisible. And then you also see the hope, because you can do something about it. Come join us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you can join us for the workshop, it's life-changing. It's in Washington, D.C., and if you can support us, we'll send you a copy of 100 Days to Freedom from Anxiety and Fear, and it's a great, great devotional book.
Steve, I want people to come, especially if they think their husband or their wife needs fixing, because when they come, they discover that they have a part in it too, and it changes everything. So thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Larry. I'm going to go to a final caller here, but I will, I think I can get to all the other calls if you'll hang on. We're going to go to Charles in Palm Springs, California. Here he is. Charles, don't have a lot of time, but I did want to get to your call. How can we help you?
Thank you. Hi. Yeah, I was calling because recently me and my girlfriend, we were supposed to get engaged.
Yeah.
But recently she said that she wouldn't accept my proposal unless I worked on my explosive anger. And so I just wanted to reach out.
All right.
And kind of see what I could do about that.
Glad you called. Separate and apart from her, your relationship and all of that. what do you think is the source of anger that is so explosive that you can't control it? It's driving away the person you want to marry. What has hurt you so badly that would cause that kind of anger inside of you?
That's a good question. Well, in terms of our relationship, I feel that I get angry when I feel that she's not, I guess, doing what I want her to do. You know, I know that sounds bad, but, you know, certain things that I feel that she could avoid or that she...
Charles, I think that there's something else that has preceded this relationship with her. So that's important, what you told us. But looking back even farther, what is a deeper root to your anger?
Well, I guess if you're like trying to go like, you know, way back, I did have a father who had, you know, explosive anger issues. And so I know I took counseling for that, and they said that, you know, they discovered that I learned that from my dad and my mom because they weren't very good at handling conflict or disagreements.
Well, did you go to work on that with them? Because you either had the wrong kind of help or you quit too soon, right? Or you wouldn't have this kind of anger.
I did go to work, and I guess I thought I had it under control, but at that time when I was getting that work, I wasn't in a relationship like this, like a relationship where I really loved the person and we're thinking about getting married. I was still single.
Okay, one more quick question. What is something that you want her to do but she doesn't, or that she's doing you don't want her to do? What is that that's causing the anger, the request? What's that about?
Well, one in particular is she's working with a counselor, and I kind of tell her, because, you know, she listens to New Life Radio too, and I feel like her counselor has no call to actions or doesn't confront her on the things that she's working on, that she just goes there for like cathartic relief. And I want her to work on those things, and I want her to ask her counselor, hey, we've been here for a year.
Yeah, okay. Are you going to counseling?
You know,
are you going?
I'm not going to counseling.
Okay, now you can imagine how that would feel. You're not going, and you have all this anger, and you're telling her what to do in her counseling, and she is going, and she is willing. We can help you. And so in 2 minutes, Sheri and Alice are going to give you a prescription that could turn this around. Let's start with you, Sheri. What do you think?
Well, I think, stay on the phone and we'll get you hooked into a counselor. And I think the last thing I want to say is if you are looking at porn, I just read research on 1,630 couples that were struggling with anger in their relationships, and there was, you know, one of the people in the relationship were looking at porn ongoing, and it's surprising how explosive and how the anger can come from that place. We don't usually connect the dots. So I'd say stay on the line and get into a counselor. And if porn is an issue, then get into Every Man's Battle. It's the best thing you could do for yourself.
Yeah.
Charles,
Alice?
You have legitimate reasons to get upset and annoyed with your girlfriend. That's not a problem in and of itself, but it's how you handle your annoyance, allowing it to go to the point of rage. And you probably did good work before, but your relationship now is revealing that there's more there. There's more there that you have to go back to. You also have some controlling tendencies. It's a character defect of yours, and it's probably a way you found how to be safe in that chaotic home that you grew up in. But your control is eking out onto your girlfriend, and she sounds like a fantastic woman that she would put her foot down like that to say, not without help for your anger. Ooh, no, hold on to her.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to send you The Soul of a Hero. It's a great, great book for you to look at what's going on inside of you. I think it will help you. And get to work. And for the rest of you want to get to work, well, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Call us. We'll help you right there.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW